right, we are, oh, I lost my fuzzy. A minute.
Oh, it's way under.
Here, you step aside, I got
Thank you. Technical. All right, appreciate that, John. Thank you. All right, I'm calling the January 13th Town Council meeting to order, and we will begin with Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Davidoff.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Councilor Harris.
Here.
Councilor Lazarus.
Here.
Councilor Lyons.
Here.
Councilor McGinnis.
Here.
Councilor Deputy Mayor Poen.
Here.
Councilor Walters.
Here.
Councilor Wang.
Here.
Councilor Winograd.
Present.
All present.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davidoff. I'm going to begin the meeting by, sometimes we do this point of privilege when there's been an event that impacts us all in our country. Tonight, I want to address the tragic and deeply disturbing news out of Minneapolis. This is the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a 37-year-old mother of 3 who was killed this weekend by a federal ICE agent. Our hearts are with her children, her family, and all who are grieving this devastating loss. While this tragedy occurred in one city, its impact has rippled far beyond it, shaking communities across the country. If this can happen in Minneapolis, it can happen anywhere. This was an unnecessary loss of life, and it demands that we pause, not only in grief, but in reflection. It raises profound questions about the presence, scope, and conduct of federal immigration enforcement in our communities. It forces a broader reckoning with the federal government's approach to large-scale enforcement operations that carry serious constitutional concerns, concerns about due process, the unchecked expansion of federal power, and the erosion of basic civil liberties. Especially troubling are the actions that followed this killing, the rush to judgment, sweeping claims of absolute immunity for federal officers, conclusions reached before a full and transparent investigation, and the exclusion of local law enforcement from reviewing what happened. Taken together, these steps undermine accountability and weaken public confidence in the rule of law. There are also fundamental federalism concerns at stake. The unilateral deployment of federal officers into cities without coordination, consent, or meaningful oversight from state or local authorities strains the constitutional balance that underpins our democracy. Local leaders are left to manage the consequences of enforcement strategies they do not control, while residents are subjected to tactics that may not reflect local values, priorities, or public safety needs. No community is made safer when masked, heavily armed officers conduct aggressive operations or escalate encounters with unarmed, peaceful individuals. The increasing militarization of law enforcement, particularly in civil immigration contexts, raises the risk of harm rather than reducing it. We have seen that risk firsthand. At a recent protest calling for accountability in this very case, a protester was struck by a federal vehicle. That should alarm every one of us. When enforcement actions endanger not only those targeted, but also bystanders and peaceful demonstrators, something is profoundly broken. This trajectory cannot continue. If it does, more lives will be lost, and every one of us will be less safe. These are not partisan concerns. They speak to shared moral expectations, restraint, proportionality, transparency, and respect for human dignity wherever law enforcement operates. When transparency is absent, oversight is limited, and accountability is unclear, trust erodes, and without trust, public safety suffers. As local leaders, we know that trust is essential to effective policing. It must be intentionally built and carefully maintained. Our experience shows that when law enforcement and the community are connected through transparency, communication, consistency, and shared values, cooperation grows and outcomes improve. When that trust is damaged, especially by opaque federal actions beyond local control, fear replaces confidence, and the entire community pays the price. Moments like this demand a full, independent, credible investigative process, one that families, communities, and the public can trust. We owe that not only those who have lost their loved ones, but to the principles of justice and accountability that are fundamental to a healthy democracy. Tonight, we hold space for the grief of one family. We speak honestly about the broader questions this tragedy raises, and we recommit ourselves to the values that make communities truly safe: compassion, accountability, restraint, and respect for human life. I'll ask for a brief moment of silence in memory of Renee Nicole Macklin Good. Thank you very much. And now we will start with a proclamation. And I'm wondering if, Misha, could you join me up there? So I just want to thank Misha for reaching out and making sure that we were recognizing Muslim American Heritage Month. And then I was responding with Misha, and we were drafting proclamation. And then Muna called and also was interested in being here. Thank you so much for coming. And we appreciate being, just making sure that we are recognizing the importance of the incredible contributions that Muslim Americans have made to our country and our community. So whereas Muslims have been a part of the American story for centuries, beginning with enslaved Africans, of whom historians estimate nearly 30% were Muslim, whose beliefs, resilience, and service contributed to the early development of our nation. Whereas Muslims have inhabited the land that would become the United States since before the nation's founding, and Muslim-majority Morocco became the first country to formally recognize the United States in 1777, later solidifying diplomatic ties through the 1786 Treaty of Friendship, the longest-standing unbroken treaty in American history. And whereas throughout American history, Muslims have made notable contributions in philosophy, mathematics, medicine, architecture, literature, science, civic engagement, military service, and the arts, enriching the cultural and intellectual fabric of the nation. And whereas Muslim Americans have played significant roles in the founding, growth, and continued prosperity of the United States, and today serve as industry's leading innovators, entrepreneurs, and executives across the national economy. And whereas Muslim Americans have enriched the nation's cultural, artistic, athletic landscape and have been instrumental in advancing scientific discovery, engineering, and technological innovation in their respective fields, and whereas the ongoing philanthropy, civic responsibility, and cultural heritage of Muslim Americans are recognized in their historical and contemporary contributions, which honor their enduring presence in the American story. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that on behalf of the Town Council and the residents of West Hartford, I, Mayor Sherry G. Cantor, do hereby recognize the month of January as National Muslim American Heritage Month on this 13th day of January 2026, reaffirming the commitment to fostering an inclusive, welcoming, and respectful community for residents of all backgrounds, faiths, and traditions. And here you go. And I just want to thank Muna, your family, and I was it Zachariah, Ahmed, and Yahi. Am I saying it right? I'm sorry. So thank you for being here as well. I don't know if you want to say anything about the organization, and if you would like to.
I wanted to say thank you so much for having this happen and just the collaboration between us. CARE Connecticut is a civil rights organization working towards making meaningful conversation and creating an inclusive environment where all of us can understand where we come from, our differences, and also our similarities. So this is just a step in the right direction for especially the younger generations to understand that we are part of this community and how much it means to us to be recognized for all of our efforts throughout the year. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. you. All right, thank you so much. Right, public forum. Has anybody signed up? Mr. Dodge. Empty. Okay, is there anybody here that would like to speak to something that's on the agenda?
This is with respect to the, my name is Mohammed Musani. I'm an immigration attorney. Can I?
Yeah, it has to be something on the agenda.
With respect to the.
So a proclamation?
Yes.
Oh, okay, come on up then. Please state your name and address for the record, and if you're not a West Hartford resident, we have to, what do we call it? Suspend the rules, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mohammed Musani. Mohammed Riaz Musani. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm a West Hartford resident, live in West Hartford. My office is just above Dunkin' Donuts, exactly opposite the West Hartford Town Hall. The reason why, basically, it's with respect to the proclamation that was declared. And I was wondering that, West Hartford is a sizable Muslim population as well. Besides, the other religions that are there. I was wondering if we could have, my daughter always wondered, why do people of other faiths have a holiday? And when I have to go to school during Eid time, So I said, well, I sent an email, I think a year ago, never received a response. But, I would request the West Hartford to consider Eid to be made a holiday here, just like other religions, We are all part of the Abrahamic faiths, Islam and Christianity, as well as the Judaism religion. They're all under one umbrella. So technically, if there's a sizable Muslim population, sizable, businesses as well. So I was wondering that to be considered, down the road. My daughter is in university now, she's in Yukon. So she's out of the school, but at least the other children that are there, that they should feel that, this is something that's there. I know Diwali has been made a public holiday as well. And there's a sizable population of Muslims here in West Hartford. So I would request, that to be considered as well. And thank you for recognizing, January as the Muslim Appreciation Month. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we received comment, we don't have an interaction, so thank you so much,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right. I'm sorry, would you? Okay, then you have to come up and name and address for the record.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shakir Dridi. I'm a West Hartford resident for about 28 years. Actually, as I was coming here, my wife told me, why don't you put that tag on you, just in case? This is meant to be a joke. Thank you for what you said about what's happening in this country. I don't want to live in fear, so that's why I showed up here. The reason last time I showed up here, actually, when the Iraq war was about to be declared, I was younger and I was demonstrating. And I voted for you and I met you in person. And tonight I showed up. My reason to show up here because of the recognition of the Muslim month and also what he is asking for. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 30 years. And as a teacher, I get a personal day. I get to celebrate my holiday. The students don't. There is a movement here in the Farmington Valley to have the towns recognize the Muslim holiday and to give that day as a day off for the Muslim families and students as well. I know you are not the Board of Ed, but also just to let you know what's going on in the community. So that's about it, actually. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, any other public comment? All right, we go now to number 4, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I move that items 5A through 5C, 7H through 7O, and 10A are placed on the consent calendar.
Is there any objection? All right, hearing no objection, the items are placed on consent. Ms. Pullen?
Thank you. I move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we go to number 7A, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I make a motion to receive and refer to Town Plan and Zoning Commission and Capital Region Council of Governments and set for public hearing on February 24, 2026 at 7:15 PM, an ordinance concerning site plan approval of affordable housing developments.
Oh, without objection, sorry, I was waiting for the second. Is there any objection? All right, hearing no objection, the motion is adopted. Letter B, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the town manager to request additional funding in the Brownfield Municipal Grant Program to support environmental remediation at 579 New Park Avenue.
Second. Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Back in June of 2025, the town had received a $688,000 brownfield grant to assist with the environmental remediation at 579 New Park Avenue, which is a multifamily development titled called the Jaden, which will eventually house 70 units, 20% of which will be deed restricted affordable housing. Since we closed on the grant, the developer has completed abatement and remediation of the existing structure. And while going to remove the footings, they discovered additional contaminated soil that they were not aware of originally. So this will require an additional 1,000 to 1,500 tons of soil to be remediated at an additional cost of approximately $290,000. So this resolution will allow us to request this amount, which if approved by the Department of Economic and Community Development, would bring the grant total to $978,000. I do want to quickly thank Kristen Gorski for her work with the developer both on the original brownfield grant and identifying the possibility of requesting additional funds to offset the developer's cost of remediation. So through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council had.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. This is quite unusual, and I think the first time that we've actually seen
It is,
has had a second bite at the apple. So we're very grateful to DECD in this program and revitalizing unused or underutilized properties. So any other comments, questions from anybody? It was discussed in committee, I think, financial. Ms. Harris, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So through you, Madam Mayor, I had just a couple of questions on this. I guess one of them was how unusual this is, and I guess that was sort of stated already.
Correct.
I wanted to know, in terms of getting the grant, two different things. One is, why does this developer have to get the grant? Why do we are applying for the grant? Why doesn't the developer get it directly? And what would be the possibility that that would not be remitted to us, what you're requesting?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor Harris's question. Good question. So the program, the Brownfield Grant Program, is set up for, so it's a pass-through through the municipality. So municipalities will work with developers to, it could be a process that starts before the sale of the potential land that has environmental hazards located on the site. So it's meant to encourage municipalities and developers to work together to remediate such properties. So the town actually, or cities around the state, will apply for a brownfield grant. That grant will pass through the town, and we would remit the funds to the developer.
Thank you. And then through you, Madam Mayor, the second part of my question is, what if you don't, what is the chance of us not getting, or the developer not getting what you're requesting?
Through you, Madam Mayor, we're hopeful to receive this grant. If we don't, then the developer will be responsible for the additional $290,000 to remediate the property. So it's to the mayor's earlier point, it's the first time that we've made this request. So we do have good documentation in terms of the developer and the licensed environmental professional not being aware of what was underneath those footings. So we're hopeful that DECD will honor that and provide us with the additional funds. But if we don't receive it, then developer would be required to cover that shortfall.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter C, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the town manager to join the Connecticut Municipal Development Authority as a member municipality.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledford.
Thank you. So the council will recall that we invited David Corris, the executive director of the Connecticut Municipal Development Authority, to our last Community Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting back in December. And David was able to give the committee a good overview of the potential benefits of West Hartford opting into CMDA. By way of background, West Hartford has previously been part of the Capital Region Development Authority, only because we're geographically located within the capital region. So, but we have, as folks know, never benefited directly from being part of CRDA. All of their projects have benefited primarily Hartford and East Hartford, which I think all would agree makes sense. However, as a result of state legislation being passed this past last session, municipalities within Capital Region Development Authority can now opt in to choose to partner with the Connecticut Municipal Development Authority. And this new flexibility creates an important opportunity for towns like West Hartford to align ourselves with a development partner whose tools and focus really closely matches our local priorities. We're very excited about the opportunity and the potential to join CMDA, particularly as we continue to advance projects related to affordable housing and redevelopment along our transit-oriented development district on New Britain Avenue and New Park Avenue. Presently, CMDA has a $90 million bond allocation from the state for funding. They received $60 million last year and will receive an additional $30 million on July 1st. There are currently 32 municipalities around the state that have opted into CMDA, and many more are, I'm sure, are in the process of which we're undergoing this evening. Following the council's adoption of the opt-in resolution, CMDA would review our zoning ordinances as they relate to our transit-oriented development district, as well as the town center. CMDA would then establish developmental districts within these areas, and we would then enter into a memorandum of agreement with CMDA. Once that happens, we'd be back before CPED to give an update on how we're moving through this process. And then eventually upon signing the MOA, we could begin requesting for infrastructure improvements in the form of grants. So that's something that the town could apply for as well as a developer. And then developers would potentially be eligible for gap financing for projects that would be located within the TOD or a designated town center. So, and those would be in the form of loans. So that's just a quick summary of what we discussed at CPED and for your consideration this evening. And through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council had.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Ms. McGinnis, nothing to add. Okay. Any other comments, questions, Ms. Harris?
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. Is there any cost to the town to join CPED?
No cost, no risks to the town. It's very much a benefit for the town to have access to this potential line of funding for projects that we would consider, as I said, along the TOD and within the center.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I do want to just add one of David Corris's comments. I don't know if it was at the CPED or another time that I heard him speak about MRDA, or what did I say? Right? CMDA. I know, I keep saying it, because it was originally MRDA.
Yep.
But that it's not there. It's more than the funding they have available. It's connecting to the Green Bank. It's connecting to other streams of funding that a project can access. So it's helping to put all those capital stack, those funding projects together for a particular project that we might not have the connections and be able to understand and see all of those things too. So, okay. Any other comments, questions? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Letter D, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution revising certain town council meeting dates for the 2026-27 term.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith, just a quick one.
Sure, Madam Mayor. As the council knows, council meetings typically occur on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and the Board of Education meets on the first and third Tuesday of the month. Each April, we will try to avoid hosting a meeting during the April school vacation week. So to avoid April vacation and the Board of Ed's first meeting on that first Tuesday of the month, we would move our first meeting to Wednesday, April 8th. And then the fourth Tuesday of the month is April 28th, and as you know, we adopt our budget on that second meeting within April, and April 28th would be too late statutorily to adopt our budget. So to avoid the Board of Ed meeting on April 21st, we would hold our second meeting and adopt our budget on Monday, April 20th. And this resolution simply formalizes those date changes.
Thank you.
Through you,
Are there
Madam
any comments or questions? And also avoiding the holidays in addition, so
Yes.
it's all been.
Yeah.
All right. Any comments or questions? Ms. Bullen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm sorry. For some reason, I don't know if I have the most up-to-date resolution, but I don't see the April 8th date on the resolution that's before us. Am I missing it? Can somebody else find it?
Is April 8th, Leon, was April 8th?
It just has the April
for me?
20th date.
Did we have to change the 8th meeting?
It's a Monday, April 20th, and Wednesday, April 7th, depending on the year.
Did I say April 8th?
I think you misspoke.
I misspoke. April 7th.
That clears things up. So it's,
Yeah, sorry about that.
so it's going to be April 21st of this year moves to April 20th of this year.
Yes.
April 6th of next year moves to April 7th of next year.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just
Yeah.
to clarify. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
highlighting that. All right. Do we need to?
I know that was,
Okay, Mr. Winograd.
I missed that too, because I was looking at our actual calendars, and we have an invite for the 7th and the, oh, okay. It works, yeah, got it.
Okay. Did we made the motion. Did we vote yet? No. Okay. All those in favor with the dates in the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter E, Ms. Pullen.
All right. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution appropriating a federal grant to support a road safety program.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We discussed this resolution at our last Finance and Administration Committee meeting as well. By way of summary, we applied for our second Safe Streets for All grant back in the spring of '24. We're notified of the award in the fall of '24 and have essentially been working with the Federal Highway Administration on securing the contractual arrangement of this grant since that time, going back and forth on language within our original submission, and have ultimately signed off on the final award within the last few weeks. So the award is for a total of $3,972,625, of which the town share is $794,525, leaving the federal share at $3,178,100. The duration of the grant is for 60 months and will include a number of projects, which have all been previously identified in our Vision Zero action plan, such as the red light enforcement plan, which is similar to what we just finished with our speed enforcement camera program. Quick build projects, including curb extensions, pedestrian islands, median islands, improvements along 9 separate corridors within town, creating pedestrian zones within the West Hartford Center, Park Road, and New Britain Avenue, and as well as identifying school safety zones. The grant would fund about $2.9 million in construction costs, about $897,000 in engineering fees, and $95,000 in consulting fees. We'll have our Vision Zero Action annual report, ready for the February Community Planning and Economic Development meeting, and we will give an update on this grant as well as we, at that particular meeting, because we'll be talking about upcoming projects for the 2026 year that we're in right now. So through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council had.
Just the application date of this grant and the word that we had been approved was, how long ago was that now? 2 years? Not
We were awarded in the fall of '24.
20, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so 18 months.
so about
so,
18
yeah.
months, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a change in administration during that time. So we were awarded under one administration. There was a change in administration, and that required some back and forth between us and Federal Highway Administration.
Right, right. And so some projects that we thought maybe we could start, we couldn't move forward because if we had started anything, we were in potentially lose the grant.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Pullen, this was discussed in your committee, if you want to share anything.
Yes, thank you so much. So I want to extend my gratitude to all of the town staff who worked on securing this grant to begin with, and then the back and forth to ensure that we would actually secure the grant without having spent money that we would then need to return. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but we are looking forward to receiving the federal funds that will help offset projects that we were already planning to do. So anytime we can bring in federal taxpayer money to our town to offset our town taxpayer funds to do projects we already wanted to do, I think is a huge win. And just personally, I'm excited about seeing the red light cameras come to fruition. I think we've all had enough of people running red lights in town, and any extra help we can get in enforcing that will be great. And the process, I understand the process that we use to develop the locations for the speed enforcement cameras will be a similar process to what we use for the red light cameras. We talked about this in the Finance and Administration Committee, but I just want to make sure that those who are watching at home understand that we'll be undertaking a similar process for that. So thanks again.
Thank you, Ms. Pullen. Are there any other comments or questions? Ms. Harris?
I just wanted to thank you through you, Madam Mayor.
Your mic, thanks.
I just wanted
Just
to-
click your mic, thank you.
Sorry, through you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to clarify, you said the grant was for 60 months. So does that mean that we are paid out the grant over 60 months, or we are paid it out and it lasts for 60 months? Or are we going to get it over 60 months?
So through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor Harris's question, so it'll be paid out if we were to finish all of our projects within a time period that's shorter than 60 months. It's a reimbursement grant, so we'll submit for reimbursement as we finish each stage of the project. But, if it takes 60 months, it'll take 60 months. If it takes 50, we would be reimbursed for those projects short of that 60 months.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Mr. Wayne?
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Rick. We really appreciate all the town staff's hard work on this. I just want to make a comment that this cannot come soon enough, in my opinion. The incivility with all of the red light running it's incredibly dangerous. It really harms us as a community, even if nobody gets hurt. Just this morning, I was on my bike and I was sitting right at a red light, and the car just went. It was stopped at the red light, and the driver decided that the red light did not apply to him at that moment, and he just went. And I just want to make this just as a general message to our town, to people who may be listening or may, follow what happens in the minutes the next days. Please think about your community. This really is something. If you just stopping when you see the yellow, slow down, come to a stop. It's not that difficult. It really hurts us as a community, even if nobody is physically injured when you run that red light, you will not be delayed that much. It just really hurts me to see this kind of driving that's occurring. So the red light enforcement can't come soon enough. But just as a general request, really a plea to our citizens to please respect each other, stop at red lights, drive safely.
Thank you, Mr. Wang. All right, any other comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter F, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution amending the general fund budget for fiscal year 24-25.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This was discussed in Finance and Administration as well, and it's really an annual housekeeping item as we discussed that evening as well. Last month, the council adopted a resolution appropriating our fiscal year 25 surplus. This resolution, so each year in one council meeting, we'll adopt a resolution appropriating the surplus. The following meeting we'll do one that amends the fiscal year general fund budget for expenses that exceeded the adopted budget that was adopted for fiscal year 25. And those expenses totaled $1.2 million and were attributed to police and fire overtime. Police overtime exceeded the budget by $859,000, and the fire exceeded by $410,000. These expenses were offset by higher than anticipated investment earnings, tax collection rates, and building permit revenue. So through you, Madam Mayor, I'm happy to answer any questions that the council had related to this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. And for those of us who have been around a while, this is routine and happens every year. Ms. Pullen, this was discussed in your committee. If you want to elaborate.
Yeah, thank you. As Mr. Manager indicated, this is a pretty standard routine process. I do want it to remind folks that $1.2 million, while not nothing, is a very, very small percentage of our overall budget. So kudos to those who are managing our budget to ensure that we are kind of coming in almost exactly at what we have budgeted for. And as we move into budget process starting next month, this will help us see where things ended up last year to help us plan for the future.
Thank you, Ms. Pullen. Are there any other comments or questions on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then G, Ms. Pullen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution amending the salary range of non-union director positions.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This resolution would authorize the town manager to amend the current director salary range up 5% from $180,000 to $189,000 a year. We do amend this range every couple of years. The current range became effective July 1st of 23. Increasing the range will not result in anyone moving to the top of this range for at least a couple of years, but will provide a little bit of flexibility for one individual who we have high-performing director who is right at the maximum now. So this will allow us that flexibility to provide them with a raise, expanding the range from $180,000 to $189,000. But again, I don't foresee being back before the council for at least a few years to amend that 189. So through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council had.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Ms. Pullen, no further comments. Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. Wayne.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Rick, what's a typical percentage point raise for one of these positions annually?
So through you, Madam Mayor, so we will take a look at what's happening around the state with other positions, similar positions around the state. And so a combination of what's happening around the state, and then certainly performance will factor into it as well. But the average raise for a director over the last couple of years has been 3%. Prior to that, I would say it was a little bit lower, it was in that 2.5% range. So moving forward, we'll see, what the marketplace is like, and certainly adjust as we move forward as well. So it could go, below that 3% 3% was last year for the average raise for a director, to answer that question.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Wang. Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Ms. Harris, did you have a question or no? Oh, I thought you raised your hand. Sorry. Okay, Mr. Lyons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you, more of a comment than a question. kind of learning fast here, hitting the ground running. I've had the great fortune of working with town manager Ledwith and many of the directors. And, relative to the private sector, I would say all of our directors are a bargain. So I think this is something really important. We have an outstanding town staff. I say it to somebody every single day, how lucky we are to have the leadership and the staff that we have in our community. So my 2 cents, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lyons. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Wang.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Rick, so just to follow up to that, the previous question, when you say performance, like what kind of deliverables, I know I'm not asking for every deliverable for every position, but are these transparently listed somewhere? Is it typically like saving money in their department? What's a typical deliverable that would, for example, that we know, that we would say like this is a performance raise?
So I meet with our directors every week. So we are constantly, working together as a team. But once a year, we'll meet and we'll set goals for the upcoming year. So we'll do that for myself as well as for each of our directors. And then we will work together to achieve those goals. Assuming we meet those, then that would result in some recognition of that with regards to compensation. But again, it's, we also, our team is very cognizant of our budget challenges that we have every year as well. So if I give our fire chief a 3% raise and he's exceeded all of his goals for the year, we know as a team that we'd like to see that go to a 4 or 5%, but that's just not going to be possible in the public sector. So, it's it's a combination of those factors. But like I said, I'm in weekly contact with each of our directors, and it's something that we're working on throughout the entire year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Any other comments or questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And now we are at reports from the town manager. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you. So we have upcoming council business to report on first. So we have a Human and Community Services Committee meeting on Thursday, January 15th at 8 a.m. We have a Community Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting on January 21st at 8 a.m. Both those meetings are virtual. And then on January 27th, we have a Special Services District meeting at 6:30. And then following that meeting, we will have a public hearing on an ordinance permitting recreational vehicles accessory use in existing single-family districts. That will take place just following that Special Services District meeting on January 27th. Following that public hearing, we have an application by Honeycomb Real Estate Partners, LLC, for a special development district at 230 Newington Road. And that takes place on January 27th, again at 6:45 p.m. And then we have a town council meeting on following both of those public hearings at 7:30 p.m. on January 27th. We do have an update on the West Hartford Center Infrastructure Stakeholder Meeting. Business owners are encouraged to attend an upcoming stakeholder meeting on Wednesday, January 28th at 6 p.m. in room 314 of Town Hall. Town staff and the project team will be available to answer questions and discuss what to expect as work continues. Input from the businesses is valued, and hope folks can join us for that meeting. We have another update on the infrastructure work that's just starting on Farmington Avenue. So the contractor is tentatively scheduling overnight tree removal along Farmington Avenue for the week of January 26th, subject to weather and coordination. Police officers and flaggers will be present to ensure the safety of pedestrians and motorists. A more precise schedule and road closure details will be shared as they become available. During the week of January 19th, soil cell installation and sidewalk demolition along Farmington Avenue between Walden Street in Dale Street will continue. Storm drainage improvements are also being installed on Walden Street and Dale Street. Approximately 5 on-street parking spaces will be temporarily unavailable during construction. Crosswalks will remain open, and signage will be provided to safely guide pedestrians around the work area. And then January is Radon Awareness Month. Radon is a colorless, odorless gas formed from the natural breakdown of uranium in the soil. It can get trapped in the home and build up over time. Testing is the only way to determine whether your home has elevated levels. The West Hartford Bloomfield Health District has free radon test kits available on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. To get your kit, stop by the office at 580 Cottage Grove Road in Bloomfield between 7:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And that concludes the town manager's report this evening. Mayor, happy to answer any questions that the council had.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Are there questions for the town manager? Okay, I don't see any. Then we'll kick it over to Corporation Counsel, Mr. Dodge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have no formal report this evening, and we do not require an executive session.
Always music to our ears. Thank you very much. All right, no communications. I have a number of announcements. I'll try to go through it briefly as Mr. Dodge cringes. So West Hartford celebrates Dr. Martin Luther King on January 19th. This will take place from 10 to 11:30. And the celebration is free and open to all ages. Keynote speaker is Dr. Fiona Vernal, Associate Director of the Africana Studies Institute at the University of Connecticut. I will do a brief welcome, and then our own Lisa Lazarus will serve as MC. The student speakers are Rowan Thompson of Conard High and Nibel Bona of Hall High School. The event, and they're always the best of the program. Sorry, Lisa. But they really are. The event features musical performances by Hall High School, Jazz Combo, King Philip Middle School Singers, and Conard Solo Choir. In addition to the program, the second Earl Exum Servant Leader Award will be announced. The MLK committee has selected, it's public, I guess, Dr. Elena and Booker Devon. It's very well-deserved. And Voices of Color mural, a tribute to our deaf and hard of hearing community, has been, I'm sorry, that was the title, but for years, the West Hartford Public Schools Deaf Services Team has been dreaming of a way to highlight West Hartford's vibrant deaf and hard of hearing community, and we are excited to share that the help of renowned mural artist Michael Rice in collaboration with many DHH organizations is all coming together. The mural will be painted on the wall above the east entrance of Noah Webster Library in Blueback Square, will reflect pride, resilience, and inclusion. Sustainable Connecticut has offered its civic crowdfunding platform, Patronicity, and to help raise $6,000 by March 7th. Sustainable CT will match the funds. Councilors McGinnis and the Deputy Mayor Pullen we were at a discussion with the artist, and it was really inspiring. It was really great. St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee selects Amanda Devitt and Robert O'Meara as the marshals. There's like a bug here. Sorry, it might be a floater. I don't know. 2026 town marshal. They will. This is the 54th Greater Hartford St. Patrick's Day Parade, and again, it will take place March 7th in downtown Hartford. The honorees will be formally celebrated at a community celebration on Saturday, January 24th. The event is open to the public. Admission is $25. Tickets may be purchased in advance by contacting John Stoughton at there's the link. See, I try to go faster. January Food and Sock Drive, but West Hartford United Methodist Church, and if our colleague Alberto Cortez was here, he would be talking about this. Please drop off your non-perishable, unexpired, and unopened donations, as well as new socks, especially men's sizes, in the bin by the front door of the church. Healthy Lifestyles Workshop will take place at the Bloomfield Health, West Hartford Health District. Actually, will take place at Elmwood Community Center, but sponsored by the Health District. Sarah Zogu, Health Education Specialist, will cover building healthy daily habits, enhancing physical and mental health well-being, and tips for maintaining balance. Rotary Diaper Drive is now through January 17th. It will be dedicated to ending domestic violence, to the Interval House, who's committed to ending domestic violence. The drive runs, again, through Saturday, January 17th. Unopened packages of diapers and wipes of any size can be dropped off at locations on the Rotary web page. So there's a few businesses that have partnered. Cash donations are also welcome and will support Interval's mission to provide safety, shelter, and support for victims of domestic violence and their children. West Hartford Public Library is collecting toiletries, hygiene products now through February 6th as part of their annual kindness project, now in its 9th year. Donations may be brought to any of the 3 library locations, and there is a link with a view of a list of products that they're looking for. And it also benefits the food pantry, but the Fern Street Universalist Church Backpack Program. 10th Annual Stories Behind the Big Story panel discussion will take place on January 20th at Elmwood Community Center, and this is Connecticut Foundation for Open Government. Energy Forum with Eversource will take place on January 20th at the Bishop's Corner Senior Center from 11 till noon. The event is sponsored by the West Hartford Senior Citizens Advisory Commission and Sustainable West Hartford Commission and the West Hartford Social Services Department. All are welcome to attend. Gutenberg the Musical will take place January 21st through February 8th at Playhouse on Park. Sustainable Snow Removal, January 26th. This is a conversation with Public Works Director John Phillips. Come learn about the town's snow removal practices and policies and how best to manage snow at home. Q&A session will follow the presentation. Kindergarten information session will take place on January 26th for the incoming kindergarten class of 2026-27. Welcome to kindergarten informational meeting on Monday will take place at 6:15 at Town Hall. And please register and learn about this event. Feels like yesterday. Second Annual West Hartford Youth Leadership Academy. West Hartford Student Navigator Leadership Academy will take place January 29th from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 at the Town Hall Auditorium. This full academy will offer engaging training and hands-on activities designed to educate and empower students in a variety of areas. And you can contact Barbara Thomas at westhartfordct.gov. Academy is limited to 50 West Hartford High School students. In addition, shorter after-school and weekend training sessions for high school students will be held in the future. That's all I have. Are there any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, without objection, I make a motion to adjourn. Any objection?
Nope.
All right, we are now adjourned. Go Huskies.